Welcome to part two. Welcome. Today we're going to continue on the story, but this time around we're going to include my story of the Celicas because the Celicas are a big chunk of my life that actually make me grow with cars and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. If I seem a little bit chillaxed today, it's just an easy Tuesday, so I'm blessed. Hope you guys are blessed too. Stay tuned. So the Toyota Celica, how did it come into my life? Stuff like that. So let's start right from the top. The Toyota Celica, I remember buying it from Coventry, Connecticut back in I had that car for a very, very long time. I think at 2019. Yeah, I think it was 2019 when I first started dating Amanda. And then long story short, I got the car, I drove over there, my brother took me down there, and I saw this car. It looked absolutely fantastic. If I have photos of it, I think I do, so I'll upload them right here. So I had that car, looked at it, pay attention to it. It was fine of a car. I just needed something getting point A to point B to go to college because I had sold the Eclipse that I had that I mentioned in the last video. I think I sold it for like $3,000, $4,000. So I broke even with whatever I put into it, and I sold it. So I got the Celica. It looked good overall. It was a little bit rusty underneath. Shifted well. It was just a daily driver from New York to Coventry, which was a lot of miles. I had, I think, 225K on the dashboard. Yeah, that sounded about right. Interior was great. Wasn't that bad looking. I don't know if I have interior photos, but if I do, I'll upload them here. So I drove it home without plates or anything. I just drove it hot home. So I drove it home, looked it over a little bit, tried doing a little bit mods here and there. I got the carbon fiber dashboard for it. And what else did I get for it? I think I got a steering wheel cover, new floor mats, and I dressed up the engine bay. I think that's really all I did. So about this time, I got my first job at Advanced Auto Parts. You guys can see a review at my channel. There's a review of my job opportunities at Advanced Auto Parts. It was numerous times. I worked there maybe for like 3 different times, but besides the point of this video. So I had that car, and I was modifying it little by little. I bought wheels for it. So the car looked like this at that time with the first set of wheels it had. But I just didn't like the look. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the car to make it look clean. So I was thinking around a little bit, brainstorming while I was working for Advanced Auto Parts, making minimum wage, and I was like, I got to do something cool with this car. I can't just keep it this way with black wheels, silver body. You know, it just looked weird. It looked stock. So I thought about it for a little bit. I started window shopping on KR1s, Whistler KR1s. I started looking at BBS wheels, and I started looking at, I think I was looking at the Vors SP1s that I have on the Civic actually too when I was at that time. And then trying to figure out what else I did. So I was looking at wheel options. Wheels were expensive for the time that I was out looking for wheels because I was working for minimum wage, you know, $100 wheels is costing half my paycheck at that. So I waited around for a bit, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to wait for the right moment for those wheels to come up. And there was one for sale. I had to drive all the way down to, I think it was Norwalk, if I stand corrected. Quite a bit of a hike. It's like an hour from where I live. And I drove down there, and I saw the Whistler KR1s, bought the wheels, put them on the car. So far, I think the car looked like this. But at this point, I just feel like something was missing, though. Something was still missing. And I said, you know what? I'll just upload my experience with the Celica onto YouTube, and I started making small DIY videos, you know, how to change your belt, how to change your automatic transmission fluid, how to change your axle seals. And you can see that on my channel. It's there. You can see it all. And I started doing the exhaust on it as soon as I started getting new work. And I think when I had this Celica, I was working doubles. So I was working for Brandywine in Advanced Auto Parts. And I was working those 2 jobs, then I would flip-flop between Brandywine and Advanced Auto Parts, switch jobs, do Advanced Auto Parts and Amazon, and then it would get to a point where I was working for Mitchell Dodge for a little bit. And I was a parts department person, so at this point I made a decent amount of money. And that's when I decided to, I already had bought the wheels, but at this point I wanted to do the motor swap because the Celica is really well known for burning oil, and at this point when I got the wheels, I got the stickers all over it. So it looked like this with the stickers all over it. And then I think I did a cold air intake. I don't think I did a cold air intake. No, I don't think so. I think I did coilover. No, the coilovers were later on. Anyhow, so I had a stock height, whatever. I had lowering springs. I had Megan lowering springs on it for quite a bit. What else did I do? I think that was it. So I had a job at Toyota Parts, and it was already burning 3 quarts of oil. These cars are horrible for burning oil. If you do not like cars that burn oil, do not get a Celica. So this car was burning a lot of oil, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, if I'm wasting $20 for quarts between oil changes, how much is that a month? How much is that a year? And I'm like, all right, so in a year, I'm thinking about it's already going to cost the engine anyways, and I love this car dearly to my heart, so why not just do it? So at this point, my coworker John at Toyota at a specific location, because I was the parts person at Toyota before I had sold the silver Celica. So he told me, I can swap the engine for you. I've never swapped an engine on one of these cars before. Give me the opportunity. I'll charge you like $300 and we'll get it done. So I'm like, okay, cool. I bought a used engine from a 2008 Toyota Corolla. I think that one had 175, 180. I wanted something relatively close to what I had on the dashboard anyways, because if I had something with lower miles, it wouldn't be consistent with the body. And I kind of figured that. So I was like, all right, 180 is fine. It's whatever. I'm just trying to avoid the burning oil problem again. So that's what happened. So when you're doing the 2008 Corolla swap onto your Celica from the 1ZZ to the other 1ZZ, the bottom half of the oil pan, so they call it the upper oil pan, so it goes the upper oil pan, then you have the bottom actual pan. This upper half needs to get swapped for the one to the Corolla engine. The valve covers have to be swapped, and meaning the 1ZZ valve cover from the Celica has to get swapped into the Corolla motor, and the little support that puts the axle through, that support has to get moved onto the Corolla engine, because the Corolla engine doesn't have that support, so that has to get put on. So at this point, I'll upload photos here of all this that's going on. So at this point, I painted the engine bay purple, and it required you to do the purple and then use the purple glitter stuff. So that's what I did. At this time, the motor got pulled. The clutch was an absolute wreck, so I decided to upgrade it to, I think, another XTD clutch again. So I did XTD once and I did XTD again. And then at this point, the motor got in and it started, thankfully, drove it around for a very long time, never bought oil ever again. The only thing that was really, really weird to me was when I would start it, it would constantly kind of make this tick, 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 tick sound. And then it would kind of go away as soon as it warms up really, really hot. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's not burning oil still. So I didn't really care at this point. So after that had happened, I got fired from that job at Toyota for, I guess, not being knowledgeable in the field or whatever it was, or lacking focus. So I had lost that job. Thankfully, the motor swap was already done, so I was more than thankful, more than happy. So I had left that job, was heartbroken and stuff, and I always felt like I had given up. You know, when you lose a good job like a Toyota job or any job that you really feel enthusiastic in, it hurts and it hits home. And I was on unemployment. This was during COVID time, so I was on unemployment for maybe about it was quite a bit, like 5 months, I think, or 6 months or something like that. And I was home and I was spending it with my roommates when I was living out with 3 roommates in Torrington. And I was just really started focusing on stuff that actually mattered to me, because I was just so tired of this routine of not only getting fired from jobs and working a lot of overtime and stuff like that, but again, that creativity thing, like I mentioned in my last video, the creativity thing really, really bothered me, because I was just so constantly focused on the aspect of working all the time. So at this point, I'm on unemployment and my unemployment's running out. So I said, you know what? I'm in a season now to find work somewhere overnights. It seems like obviously I didn't learn my lesson, so I did that. I worked at BD for a little bit, quite a time. This is where I first realized I was having suicidal thoughts. Now, why was I having those thoughts? To be quite honest, I don't know. I think it was because I was just so much in debt, and I think that was because of the fact that my unemployment had ran out, and I was using debt to kind of catch up with things. And at this point, I got my first blessing through God, that money came and paid those bills, thankfully. And I'll always recognize God being there for that, because It was a miracle, honestly. I couldn't have done it. It was a lot of debt. It was almost like $2,000 worth of debt, $2,100 worth of debt, or something like that. But little did I know God would continue blessing me throughout the way because I was doing it with Him. So at this point, I got the money to pay off my debt. I decided to save a little bit so I can get rid of the Celica. Um, so at that point, saved a little bit to get rid of the Celica because I was realizing at this point, after replacing a motor, doing coilovers, doing the NVIDIA exhaust, doing the sway links, the axles, I did so much work to this car. After doing all of this, the rear arms were getting rusted out, and it wasn't worth fixing because, just like in the video, you can check all these videos again on YouTube. On Amanda's car, you'll see the red car. The arms ended up breaking, but what made it not worth fixing was the fact that the bolts that would go to the body, they were rotted away. They were completely gone. So I said, you know what? I got to get rid of this car. I had a bunch of memories with it. It was really, really hard to get rid of it. Really, really hard for me because, again, in the relationship that I am now for the past 5 years, it brought back a lot of memories for me. It brought back a lot of down times, a lot of good times because I took in that car for a road trip for 3 hours to pick up Amanda's TRD spoiler. I think I'd taken that car so I can get the motor, I think. Just so much memories. But at this point, it was just getting too bad. And I had already replaced the clutch, I think probably like 2 months before selling it because it would not go into gear. And I said, I have to give up on this. I really, really have to. Even though the 5-speed GT Celicas are rare, I had to get rid of it. The body was just so bad. So I sold that car for a loss, I think, because I bought it for $1,500 and I sold it for $3,000. But again, I bought wheels, I've done all this work, I did the engine work, paid for the motor. So the person that got the car after me definitely lucked out, and I miss it. If you guys ever want a Celica, get a Celica, but make sure it has low miles, the body is clean, and it's been well taken care of, meaning oil changes, coolant flushes, blah blah blah, etc., etc., etc. Now what did I learn from this? I learned a lot. A lot of the memories with my Celica have taught me how to pull out a transmission. I pulled out my second transmission with this car by myself. No experience, maybe light experience, but basically no experience. And I saw how people were doing the motor swap on this car too. This car gave me the motivation to keep going. The Eclipse was the start of it, but the Celica fortified that for me because it taught me the fact of not giving up. And you can't give up in this lifetime. There's going to be people around you that hate on you, spit in your face, all this other crazy stuff, but you can't let that get to you and tunnel you into your own little cocoon or stuff like that. You have to embrace this opportunity to really be creative, be experimental, and to step out of your comfort zone. And that's what the Celica did for me. It made me step out of my comfort zone, and it showed me what pure joy was, because I didn't have a lot of people that were showing me what pure joy was. I met a lot of people with this car. I went to car meets with this car. I had a lot of family gatherings with this car, meeting to a certain location, whatever. But the rot is what got to it. And like anything else in life, it taught me that experiences are more valuable than just materialistic things. And that's with anything else in life. If love is valuable, friends are valuable, family is valuable, God is valuable. And if you let God in those opportunities that you had to let him in, he will continue blessing you with so many opportunities to fix cars. And again, this is talking to those people that are in love with working on cars. God will continue giving those opportunities to keep on working on cars, no matter what the make is. Ford, Porsche, Toyota, Honda, Ferrari, no matter what it is, God can put you in those situations. And if he sees that you're embracing those situations for what they are, you'll continue to live in his grace, continue to live in his opportunities, and doors will open and doors will close. Now, if I had to get a Celica again, would I? I think I would, honestly. I was shopping yesterday and I saw a 2004, so it was a year more ahead than my car, Toyota Celica GT. It was a 5-speed. But the problem was the body was rotted. It was crazy, and I'm like, nah. But I am eyeballing out there for Celicas. I would most definitely own one again, but I'm kind of enjoying the Civic for now. This is going to be a car that I want to keep for pretty damn well good time. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of the Honda stuff, more fragrance videos, and motivational videos like these. But never give up. If you have that car that is, you feel like it's a piece of you, and it feels like that you want to have this car forever, check that gut feeling out. Really feel that out, because you'll realize that at the other side of that, there's going to be something a lot brighter. There's going to be something a lot more motivating for you and more inspiring. And when you brace yourself for those tough moments with cars, or even life in general, you'll have those lessons to teach other people. And the Celica taught me that lesson for me, and it forever will. That's going to be it for today's video. And that was the story on my 2003 Toyota Celica. I love you guys. And we'll end it with one of those clips too, or a compilation of those clips, so you guys can enjoy them. And I'll enjoy them too, clearly too. I love you guys, and God loves you. Always, all the time, and forever. Peace out. Same. It's a video, actually.